Everything looks good. Christopher, take it away.
Hi, welcome to the ALCast. Today we're going to talk about myths and legends. I'm Chris.
I'm Nathan.
I'm Allan.
I'm Justin.
See, boys, that's how you do an intro. All right,
done,
so does anything come after that, or is that just like the start, right?
Yeah. It's all you now, baby. It's all you.
So I had a different topic, but I think we covered it a little bit with the mini-sode that we did over the weekend. When talking about like artificial life and AI and stuff. I'm gonna give Nate some, if he wants to jump in here and have any thoughts on that since he wasn't able to participate.
Oh,
Nate, how do you feel about AI?
were you talking about that guy, that Google researcher that thought? Weird, I just got this tickle in my throat. You're talking about that Google researcher that thought that the thing he was working with was sentient.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's right. I think that guy knows what he's talking about. I think everybody making fun of him is just kind of like doesn't want to contend with the possibility of what he's saying being true.
Even if that's the case, like what happens at that point?
Well,
Nothing.
what happens is, there's like
They wipe them. They wipe the data, get rid of that sentience.
yeah, it's really hard to say. Like, I think the law hasn't even caught up to just like software to begin with. So how could it catch up to like software, like sentience? And like, I don't even think people would even agree like whether or not, even if people do agree that it is sentient, I don't think people would agree that like that means it should have rights. Because you'll get a philosophical disagreement as to like whether or not people think that that's rights are something that human like physical like animals have, or like the sentient, like people don't agree on that anyway. So
Yeah, I think it's hard to get people to agree on whether or not animals fall into the sentience category too.
right, yeah. So it would be a thing like that.
I mean,
I don't
what
know.
happened
Good.
if like tomorrow a dog walked up to the White House and was like, "Hey, I can talk on behalf of all dogs, and we demand equal rights." Like, what happens?
Sometimes I think of like I have like the topic that I was going to give to me was like sci-fi, and like I've got a few like story ideas that kind of bounce around in my head, and one of them is like this very, very distant civilization where like very distant in the future, where it's like there's a spacefaring civilization, and it's like the species that used to be the pets is now the species actually like doing all the work and basically doing everything, and then like the species that used to be like the masters of the pets are just these like ceremonial like drones basically. And like it's like, okay, that's like, so imagine like a billion years in the future and like all the spaceship crew is like dogs, and all the dogs are talking to each other, running all the systems, everything. And then there's like a pair of humans on the ship, and then the dog's like, oh, like cool, like these are our humans. Like there's some ceremonial like thing that they'll have to like, it's like the royalty in England or something. I don't know.
So I think that floats well into what we are going to be talking about this week, which is myths and legends. This idea of like these stories that were created in order to talk about things that came before, or in order to like highlight a lesson that is easier to tell through story form. But I kind of wanted to talk about that. Like, what are the things happening today that like 200 years from now are going to be myths and are going to be told as a legend from today, and how do you think it's going to get warped past that point? Like, Icarus wasn't a guy who had like, the story of Icarus, the man who tried to create wax wings and fly to the sun, wasn't a story about an actual person who tried to fly to the sun, but probably somebody who tried to do something that ended up being catastrophic for him because he went further than he was supposed to. Right?
Sure. I mean, I don't think, can we really get that many myths in this day and age with everything like so recorded and all that sort of stuff? I mean, well, we have from recently, from like the Ukraine conflict, there was the what was that guy's name? The ghost of Kiev. I guess that's like a myth and a legend.
The ghost of Kiev.
Yeah, the ghost of Kiev was so in military conflicts, we don't get them anymore because we don't really do like aerial combat that's like jet to jet. But aerial combat, jet to jet, like those dogfights, they produce what's called flying aces. Flying aces are pilots that shoot down enemy pilots. I think you have to shoot down at least 10 in a day to become an ace. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. A big plot point of Top Gun recently was that there's no aces anymore. That there's no people that are like racking up kills out there.
Right.
Out there.
Pretty much. I mean, we just don't like our aerial units are shot down by like surface air missiles. Not really.
Yeah,
not
you're
really
not
shooting each other.
fighting as much. Yeah. I see. So it was the nickname given to a fictitious, which I guess leads to your point of like, was it actually fictitious or did this actually happen? MiG-29 Fulcrum flying ace credited with shooting down 6 Russian planes over Kiev, February 24th, 2022. So yeah, I think this lends to we do still have myths.
Right. I mean, there was a conspiracy that the ghost of Kiev was fake, but they did it to like boost the morale because morale went like balls to the wall after that shit like came out, and people like it was like I guess here's another myth that's more like nerdy. Let me solo her from Elden Ring.
Oh yeah.
Everyone like they drew up all those comics and memes and stuff, and they did the same thing for the Ghost of Kiev. There was like jet memes and like pictures and stickers, fan art. Yeah, there you go.
It's cool shit.
Yeah, I think it's one possibility that you could imagine is that like people just keep on going out into different subcultures, and then the common points of reference that they have just kind of keeps on going down. And I guess maybe it would just be like what.
I think you need to explain that a little bit more. We need to dive in.
Well, I think this is something we've touched on before, where it's like, as people kind of go onto the internet and everybody's so interconnected, like people are actually finding like very, very niche communities, and then the actual kind of overlap that people have like in between those different niche communities kind of decreases. It's like, instead of having some like town square where everybody in their village will like go and talk
we have
to each
a
other.
world square,
and we have like 1 million of them, and you get to pick the one that like is exactly the like fitting your preferences or something. So I guess like if that's the choices people are making as adults, I think you're kind of limited to like the myths are going to be the things that people still feel like teaching kids, and I feel like that maybe there'll be like more stuff in common there. So
I think what Allan's saying, the myths of like, I don't think nobody's trying to teach a kids anything about the Ghost of Kiev. It's more like Allan was saying, to bolster morale and to like, get people that are, in this case, in war, like, to not lose hope.
Mm.
Yeah, and there are like, I feel like it's like memes. I guess like myths are kind of like an archaic form of like memes, right? So like now maybe you could say that like all these memes are just like accelerated myths. Like there's been all these different eras of memes though, right? It used to be like a person became a meme, and it's like they almost were a myth, like Scumbag Steve or something like that. Like,
Bad Luck Brian.
but it's like that's like 10 years of internet ago. I don't think memes are even like that anymore. Sort of like it's like that's been like digested, and now memes are like even less meaningful than that. I don't know.
No, I mean, some of the memes I still see them like I don't see. The only reason I even remember this one is because I think it was like the 10-year meme anniversary for the crazy girlfriend was a couple weeks or a couple months ago.
Yeah.
But so I don't see her anymore.
YouTube video about it, right?
Yeah. But like you still see like the Boromir, one does not simply go into Mordor. Lord of the Rings still and Star Wars still pump out like a pretty decent amount of memes, and a lot of theirs still holds. A lot of theirs still used these days, like the high ground shit and like all the Obi-Wan stuff.
Yeah, but I don't
Yeah.
feel like there's a. It's like I don't feel like there's necessarily like a myth. It's like a memory, and I don't think that's the same as like a myth. Like,
Well, that memory gets retold to someone else, and that retelling of the memory, I think, is the myth. Because that person is hearing about it from somebody who claims to have been there. And so now they have the story. I heard this story from a guy. Now they tell it to somebody else, and now it's a myth. Now it's something that you heard from a friend of a friend, or like, you can't verify it yourself.
so the prequel memes becomes like the next pantheon of gods, and the original footage is lost.
Yeah,
Everybody
instead of actually calling it prequels, we call them the prequel memes, and it's just like, yeah, it only gets referred to by the subreddit instead. Oh, you're talking about the prequel memes? It's like, no, we're talking about the movies, Star Wars
what?
movies. Wait, what?
It's been lost to history. Like, we know that Anakin doesn't have the high ground, but the original.
Justin, you've
rest
been
is lost.
unusually quiet today. I got a question for you.
Okay, what's up?
So, what was the most devastating meme that you ever found out was not real? Like a thing that you saw on the internet that you were like, "Oh my god, that's incredible," and then you found out wasn't actually real and it was just like a fake internet bullshit. That like was the worst for you.
I know what you're saying. When you say those words, the only thing I can think about are memes on the Donald that I thought were fake but were real.
Yes, that's pretty devastating.
Yeah, not fun.
That's good. That's good. The other way around. Which ones you thought were fake but actually turned out to be real?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Well, wasn't there something going on there where it's like somebody would make a fake meme? It's like, wow, like a Trump supporter that's like really, really dumb would post this, and then everybody gets in there like, yeah, we agree with that, and then
Yeah, like
that's like
I think people
cooking
used
the
to tell,
onion.
I think people used to tell jokes about like Donald Trump would say he's done more for Christianity than Jesus, and then he actually said it.
Some people would say that I've done more for Christianity than Jesus.
Yeah.
And who am I?
people are saying. In fact, I think Jesus said it.
Yeah, it's like the shit that just happened with Jared Leto and Morbius. Like everybody making fun of Morbius and him being like, "Oh, time to make Morbius too." Like, nah.
I mean, people are actually buying tickets to it though. Like,
my
it has memed its way into like people actually viewing the movie.
I couldn't tell if they were making fun of it. I actually, to this day, I didn't know if if this was like Morbius appreciation memes or like.
It's very bad.
It's
I think the way that memes work is that you have the first group, which are ironic memers, like, "Ha, this is really funny," and that kind of attracts people who believe that unironically. If you look at like,
is lost, yeah.
yeah, if you look at 4chan, they used to make lots of Nazi jokes and a lot of pedophile jokes, and then there were actual Nazis and pedophiles on 4chan. The same thing happened in the Donald, where like it was a very ironic subreddit where it was just like, holy shit, look at fucking Donald Trump doing this stupid shit in the primaries. Let's fucking meme about it. And then it actually attracted Trump supporters.
I think they just could. Yeah, I don't know. I think they just couldn't tell the difference. Like, and I guess I have a first-hand look at this because I just learned that the Morbius memes were ironic. I actually thought people like it's like he's Morbin. I thought that was like a scene that they
Morbin
watched.
time.
And like, whoa, cool. He was
Nobody
Morbin.
says, I don't
Looks
think
like
anybody in that
memes.
movie says it's Morbin time. Just FYI. Just in case you
I don't know.
Oh my god,
That is
I
good.
saw the worst meme when that first started. It was, I don't even want, no, I shouldn't even say it. Never mind, JK.
yeah, Justin.
It's really bad. Like, but yeah, I mean, like Morbius seems to be the same kind of thing where it was ironic memers followed by unironic memers.
I mean, the guy does have basically like a cult, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, for, like Jared Leto.
I don't know if he's
His-
like abandoned that, but I know for some time he did at least, right?
Speaking of Morbin time, have you
Abandoned
guys,
it?
have you guys
I don't
heard
know
about
about
the teenage what's it called? The teenage suit wearing kids going to go see the Minions movie?
Oh yeah.
I don't know
No.
why. I don't know why it's bad, but a lot of movie theaters are freaking out. I don't know what's happening other than like teenagers are apparently were ironically first and now apparently unironically like dressing up in suits and like requesting like 30 tickets to the Minions movie and like paying for it and then going to go watch it. I don't know what's happening in the theater.
With 30 people or buying out an entire theater and then going by themselves?
I don't know, but there's
Okay.
at least there's groups of them going together.
But they just
There are
assume there's
lines
something.
there.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I mean, there are lines there. Like, whatever, like, kids do that. I have this theory that, like, kids just want to be so opposite of their parents, and we are now the parent generation, and none of us wear suits. Like, this generation doesn't wear suits anymore. We wear, like, a button-up t-shirt as most formal, you know? So I would not be surprised if that's, like, what the next, kids dressing up in suits or formal wear is like the next fashion trend.
Maybe. I think it's just a Minions thing. Like, people wear suits and then they do, like, mischievous shit on top of that, like trying to sneak 200 pounds of bananas into the theater.
I
Like-
remember
Okay.
trying to do stuff like that as a teenager. It's
Yeah.
like we were trying to sneak food into the theater.
I don't
200
like,
pounds of bananas?
Yes. Yeah. I don't know what it is about this generation. Maybe I'm a fucking boomer, but like some of the memes they make are fucking really weird. Did you guys ever see any of the Devious lick shit?
Oh, what the fuck?
I don't think so.
Are these like wait, hold on. Where are these hosted? And then tell us what it is.
Okay, like
Is
wait,
this like a TikTok? Like, is this a Reddit?
yeah,
thing,
it's like a
thing?
TikTok thing. So like people would make TikToks and they would show off their devious licks, which were things they literally just stole. Like
That's a set of...
just stealing, like literally just stealing. Like they would steal things like fire extinguishers, like doors.
Oh! This
bathroom
was
sinks.
this was the
People
problem
are
in
stealing
like all the
these
high
from
schools, right?
Yeah, it was a high school problem, like specifically, like, and I can't remember doing any of that shit. I guess like with senior pranks or something, you would like flush down like fireworks or something and blow up the bathrooms, but like
Yeah, like why
I don't
is
know,
that
maybe
different?
maybe we're just seeing more of it. I don't fucking know.
I think we definitely are seeing... I think that's like a big thing, is we're just seeing more and more of everything. Because TikTok allows you to see into the lives of
12-year-olds.
millions of people. Millions of 12-year-olds.
12-year-olds.
Imagine if there was TikTok when we were in fucking middle school.
Sure.
I actually did steal a chair from like a college's dining hall.
We had one year we had the girls my school worked and had like girls restrooms on one floor and then boys restrooms on the other, and it would alternate. One year one of the girls restrooms was closed down for like maintenance or something, so they went to the boys restrooms, and that week people were shitting in the urinals.
Were the girls shitting in the urinals or the boys?
I don't know, but somebody for that
False
week
contact.
alone, while we were sharing the bathrooms, for some reason there were people shitting in the urinals, and it's like, so kids
Yeah.
did weird shit, man. We did weird shit when we were kids.
I want
I
to
was shitting, but someone did, and if TikTok was around, they would have filmed it.
Yeah, I
I want
guess
to justify my devious slick because there actually is. So at the end of the semester, what they would do is they'd put this silverware forgiveness box where silverware that you took from the dining hall, no questions asked, you could like just return it to the dining hall. And the chair that I took was this completely like chrome, like this completely polished chrome chair. So at the end of the semester, I put the chair in the silverware forgiveness box. And
How did you do that without
was
someone
hilarious.
seeing you?
I just kept walking. I just,
walking.
A lot of people did see you.
Oh my god.
I mean, I got most of the way through the dining hall just kind of acting like I was moving the chair from one table to another table, you know, as one does. And just like, okay,
Sure.
here we go. Just like,
Oh,
and
yeah,
but I
just
just kept going. Like it's, you know, like what's that thing? Like I kept crawling and it kept working.
Yeah. They probably didn't even think you stole the chair. They were just like, "Oh, he's just doing a prank."
It just, yeah,
Yeah.
you know, I was sitting outside. Going to the outside section.
Hey, then you didn't steal it for good. You know, you brought it back. That's good. At least it didn't go to waste.
But that honestly, that's why I did it though. I just wanted to. I should have taken a picture, but I just wanted to see that chair like sticking out of that silverware forgiveness bin.
Yeah, definitely glad TikTok was around when we were in high school.
Oh my god, I'm so glad the social media in general wasn't around. Like, I mean, we had like Facebook and MySpace and Xanga, and
But that was
that
college
was so
thing.
much hard. It was like
Yeah.
And
none of that
MySpace
lasted more than a year.
MySpace actually did disappear. Like all the embarrassing stuff on MySpace
Oh, that's right.
is actually just gone.
Yeah,
Has anybody ever found anything from there? I think so.
I don't know. I've never even tried to look up my old MySpace.
I mean, it probably is still there, but somehow I think it's like a truce. Everyone's agreed not to.
yeah. I mean, you had like there wasn't really like sharing shit you could do on MySpace. Like there was like some bulletin board kind of shit or like top 5 friends or whatever, but mostly it was just pimped out my page, look at my page, and then like DMing people.
I mean, people would use it as like the same way they use Facebook. Like some people use it as a diary, and then it just goes, out to everybody. I think in the MySpace time, it wasn't really like, it didn't feel like you were posting on there for someone else. You were doing it for yourself.
Yeah.
But now posting on Facebook or Twitter feels like you're doing it for everybody else.
Yeah, you're doing it for the clout. It is there
like
to get you like internet points.
Yeah.
It.
I just remember everybody got those drawing boards on MySpace. That was like a fun thing you could do, and then just like dicks started showing up on all of them. There's like an epidemic of like dicks drawn on all those MySpace drawing boards.
I mean, that's
Never
any
talked about-
public surface that you can draw on.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
Man,
I can't
I wish
imagine.
I could find my MySpace page. I would love that.
I just did a
I don't-
password request thing, but it's not popping up in my email. So I think my account might be just killed because I didn't log into.
I remember I
it.
used
Were you using that same email in high school though?
Yeah, this email is fucking hella old.
Yeah, were you first wave Gmail?
Yeah. And I see
I have a Yahoo
emails.
account.
I see emails from MySpace dating back to 2008. 2007, which would have been my senior high school. 2006.
I would have guessed that MySpace was before that.
Yeah, MySpace was
2006. 2006.
That sounds more like it. Yeah.
2000. Still 2005. I still have
Oh.
MySpace emails from going back to 2005.
Wow.
But I think my account's dead because the most recent email is from 2008. I can't imagine they would have kept my account. But yeah, man, I'm happy all this shit wasn't around like in today's form when we were in high school. Like, speaking of like pranks and stuff, for senior year, I remember we had a Facebook group called "Shh, It's a Secret," and that was our like private Facebook group with like just a bunch of seniors, and we're like, "What are we gonna do, guys?" For our senior
for
prank.
your senior prank.
Yeah. We ended up.
I think I heard some stories about this.
No, this wasn't too bad. Like we ended up going back. We ended up like it was like midnight or 1 a.m. A bunch of people came to like my house. A bunch of people went to this guy Paul's house, and then we all met up back on campus. And we had like these back modulars behind like the main building, and we just went in there, opened all the doors, and then took all the like chairs and desks out and put them on the soccer field, and then we left.
Nice.
And then we got yelled at.
How'd they know it was you?
Apparently they have fucking like some of the teachers that live nearby would like come and like patrol the area at like 3 in the fucking morning for some reason.
They probably just do it on senior prank week or something.
Maybe, I don't know, but yeah, we got yelled at. It was pretty funny though. I have been thinking about this premise, Christopher, about myths, especially modern internet myths, and I think a big one would have been the initial run of Pokemon, Twitch Plays Pokemon. Because we literally got mythological creatures and mythological deities out of there.
That's
Namely,
true.
Fucking Bird Jesus.
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
cool as fuck.
Why hasn't anybody? I feel like in this day and age, we can now start a religion for anything. Why hasn't anyone started one for that? I feel like there'd be tons of people that would join.
Like a religion?
I think it would have to be a Pokemon-based religion.
Well,
Pokemon, it actually is
be-
like the most popular thing, right? Like,
yeah, Pokemon-based religion. I
Um,
mean, what, is that so weird anymore?
I mean, I guess not.
the big phenomenons have been Pokemon related.
I mean, there were people memeing
How do we know
about like
that Pokemon isn't just guiding our world?
Well, there was that like internet comic where it's like Nintendo makes the perfect Pokemon MMO and society just collapses because no one is doing anything but playing the perfect Pokemon MMO. And like the dude at Nintendo's like, why do we do it? Why do we release it? What do we do next to fix the world? Like Zelda JRPG or like, you know, Mario meets, you know, Sonic. And
I think you'd have a hard time pulling people out of that world. It's over.
yeah,
You'd have to make like robots to do all the real world things, and then like have some mapping of like game actions to those robots to get people back in without realizing.
Yeah, you're just like volunteering for the Matrix.
it's like Pokemon Go, dude. Pokemon Go is like insane when it popped out, and like all these people just started like getting out into the world.
It's actually one of the craziest things I've ever seen. It's like I saw so many people just out and about that like it's like wow, I actually know people. Like, do you guys have this experience? Like maybe it's because I was at this college campus.
No.
Like-
It was happening to me at like I was working full time at Bethesda at the time, and it definitely it was just like this phenomenon. It got people together and talking. Like you'd go to the park. I went to the park like every fucking day. At the end of the day, I would just walk around the park, playing Pokemon Go, and just like seeing people that I had seen before. It was a thing we had been talking about recently, but like getting people to go to the same area multiple times, having them run into the same person multiple times, just like through their normal, you know, day-to-day interaction. But yeah, Pokemon Go is crazy, dude.
Right.
I think there was a lot of really positive aspects to it. Maybe that should be a law. You have to play Pokemon Go. Mandatory Pokemon Go. Like
At least for a year, maybe. Sure. I mean, there was a lot of people who were A, stuck in the house, and they like it made them leave, and then a lot of people B who were like, you know, unhealthy and had no excuse to walk around, and then Pokemon Go gave them excuse to walk around, and it was like you could see on
It
the
was
Pokemon
fun.
Go subreddit like people just like, I didn't realize I walked like fucking 100 kilometers this year. I lost all this weight. It's like, go you, man. Good job. Catch those fucking
Yeah.
Bulbasaur.
That was dope.
It's
There
crazy.
should be. That's how we get universal basic income passed. We created an app, and people have to participate in the app in order to qualify.
so.
And it's just Pokemon Go.
I mean,
You
maybe.
know how there's this trope in anime where there's like the forbidden zone where like some weird shit happened and like you can't go in there anymore.
Sure.
There's like this. So one of the craziest things about Pokemon Go to me is that I was at UMBC during this time, and within the whole region, within that whole part of Maryland, the best Pokemon Go spot was Ellicott City. Because like there was this section where there was like 4 overlapping like things that people could put lore, 4 overlapping like whatever they were called. People would put lures on all 4, and you could like be in the intersection of like all of them. And in this part, and then like then you could like walk down, and there was like another thing with like 3, and then you could walk down there and like walk back and forth, all within like this very small area. And the only thing that people were catching there was Magikarp because it knew that like it was like this stream area. But so people were catching so many Magikarp that like at all the gyms there were like Gyarados. People are like leveling up Gyarados. Because people were just catching like so many Magikarp, it was crazy. And then like not even a few weeks later, a flood like actually destroyed Ellicott. It actually just like basically wiped Ellicott City off the map. And they built this huge fence around that whole area, and nobody could go in. But those gyms still existed in Pokemon Go, right? So it's like this weird like exclusion zone where it's just like you weren't like allowed to go and like, try to get the gym but I think people still would. They like, I don't know, like.
Is
I always thought
Pokemon
that
Go
was
the
crazy.
most successful ARPG?
It's got to be.
ARPG?
Yeah, it's got to be by a decent margin.
It's like
right?
what Nate's talking about is just like, yeah, just get enough people to play the same ARPG because it's that. Take our real world, put a layer on top of it to make it a little bit more fantastical and fun,
Sure.
and then you get people going all over the place.
Sure.
But yeah, is Pokemon Go the most successful?
I mean, there were people. Well, but before, like, I guess answering that, there were people that were like kind of cheating the system by driving around and biking, which I think goes a little bit against the spirit of the whole thing.
Yeah, I agree.
But I can't imagine any other ARPG that's more successful.
Yeah, Pokemon Go is the 6th most successful mobile game in terms of revenue. It's made $7.7 billion. Yeah,
That's a lot.
that is a lot.
I actually did try to. The company that made that game made it first. Actually, I'm forgetting what it's called. But I did actually kind of try to get. I don't know. 'Cause I can't quite make sense out of like how the game works.
ARG, not ARPG. Sorry, correcting myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I guess
What was it? In
might-
something?
Inter something. I have it here. Ingress.
Ingress. That's it.
Ingress. That
Yeah.
sounds right. Because that's what it was built off of, right? Is that what you were saying?
So there's some similarities. Like they both use a historical like sites database, but Ingress is like doing this thing where you're like making geometric shapes in them, which I actually think is kind of cool. Like it seems like it opens the door for some kind of strategy stuff to be happening, but then like once that door is opened, I don't think it actually does. I don't know. Maybe I'm just ignorant about how that works, but.
So
Man, they've made a lot of Pokemon Go clones. Like, so they have like Ingress, which is like the progenitor, and then they have Harry Potter Wizards Unite, which is basically the same thing, but Harry Potter. Catan World Explorers, which is just Settlers of Catan, but Pokemon Go.
yeah, so this Niantic are the people that made Ingress. They also made Pokemon Go.
Right, yeah.
It's the same developments.
Same developers, yeah.
Are they owned by Nintendo now?
They partially bought, so Nintendo bought a big chunk of them, or they got a chunk of them in exchange for the licensing, but not I don't think it's a majority share.
Google owned them for until 2015. It was a Google company.
Is that where Ingress came from? Did Google fund that?
I don't know.
I think they initially did.
Yeah, it looks like it because they were founded 2010 to 2015, and Google
That's
owned
kind
them
of a Google
2010 to
thing.
2015.
To like have like web crawlers compile like a historical sites or something like.
I mean, we wouldn't have
makes sense.
Microsoft Flight Simulator without that same thing. Like, that whole game is made off of fucking just satellite data and web crawlers and shit like that. Like, to just create this world and know where the landmarks are and everything.
Yeah. Do you guys actually just go into like the 3D Google Maps mode and just like kind of look around? It's actually amazing. Like it is like
Dude,
such
you
a good
should-
rendering of like everything.
You really should try, if you haven't, Microsoft Flight Simulator has, like, it's kind of fucking nuts. I was playing it for a little while, and it does feel that same way, that, like, Google 3D map, like, zooming really far in, except you're flying a plane around in that space, and it's fucking nuts. Like, the detail level on it is crazy.
I remember way back, like way back, because that game's been around for a long time. I would like they did have bridges. That was like the one. That was like the one thing. I don't think they actually even had the building, but they had bridges, and you could like fly under bridges.
Yeah.
Do you guys miss joysticks? Like just generally? Because I remember like in the 90s, like every computer I had like a flight stick kind of controller, and I would use that for like everything.
Right back.
I would use it for racing games. I would use it for fucking platformers sometimes. Like I remember there's like Star Wars Episode 1 game where you're just like Obi-Wan or Qui-Gon, and you're just hitting shit with a lightsaber, but I'm controlling it with a fucking flight stick the whole time. Like,
Yeah, I had a few games I played with those. I do miss it actually. Yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of like flying around in space, like stuff with like there's a whole bunch of games like that, and they're just very fun with.
I just never used them really that much growing up, only for a couple things.
Just buy a joystick, Justin.
yeah, I could, but then I have to buy a joystick.
It's fun.
I'm actually surprised, Justin, you don't have a whole like separate sim computer for like racing or flight sims.
I don't really like realistic racing games all that much, and I guess the same with flight sims.
Yeah, but don't you want like the perfect Star Citizen setup where you have like fucking ultra wide, like 50-inch ultra wide with like 500 like analog switches and like a big joystick in your
Nah, I'd
console?
probably do I'd probably do VR.
Is Star Citizen the end? Like, you do Star Citizen VR, you live up to that promise, and you make a realistic universe to the level. I've seen so many updates from that.
It's
game.
never
It's
happened.
happening.
It's
It's
never
going, dude. It's happening. It is happening. It's
I'm
happening so fucking
shocked.
slowly, but they have so much money. They have made so much money from just selling ships that you could create an entire economy just inside Star Citizen based on the money that is poured into that project.
What they're doing for sure is not short of absolutely amazing, but I don't think it is ever coming out unless they literally do another crowdfund of $1 billion.
They don't need to. They do it all the time. Every time they're like, "Hey, guess what? We just put out a new fleet carrier. This one costs $10,000." And
People are buying it. I
did you
understand.
not see that Diablo Immortal is making over $1 million a day?
I
Dude,
understand.
that's just China bullshit.
But why is it's the same year? It's the same with Star Citizen.
Chinese
It's
people
still
don't give a
money.
shit about
It's still
fucking
fucking
Star Citizen.
money, dude.
I don't think
They
like,
definitely did.
like unless Star Citizen has, I'm sure it's changed a lot since like I last like really looked at it. I just don't think that like they have the business model that Diablo Immortal does. Like there's a ton of cash transactions, but Diablo Immortal, from what I've read and from what like the videos and streams I've seen, it's like very much set up so it's like every fucking step in the game there's an opportunity to pay, and I don't think Star Citizen is quite like that. Like you can outfit like your ship and your house and stuff, but actually
No.
playing the game, I don't think you need to keep dumping money into like every aspect of that.
Agreed. Star Citizen doesn't have that same kind of like. I would say that's predatory. Like just flat out, in order to do anything, you have to pay additional money. So yeah, I get why. Diablo Immortal is an outlier. It's not the same as Star Citizen. It is.
I don't think it's
a
an outlier.
ridiculous-
I think there's
You don't
tons of
think
games
it's an
that,
outlier?
there's tons
If
of games
they
that do that shit,
actually-
man.
If they're actually designing like a an economy in game, and then they could have some sort of like maybe they can have like an official way to money in and out of the game and take a slice there, like that could be really successful.
There is in buying ships, I believe. If you can sell those ships that you buy with real money to other people, you've done it. Like that's it, right? You just can spend $15,000 on a carrier, sell it for as much in-game money as you want, and now you are a baron. And you
Okay. Well, but so something like that happens in every MMO, but a lot of terms of service say you can't. And I don't know if it's a legal thing or if they just don't want to be bothered. or
I
what
think
it
there's
is,
some
but-
don't know.
MMOs that let you do that. There's you can look up like videos and websites of just like the most expensive like real money things in video games, and a lot of them are like real estate or weapons or some shit in like really weird MMOs that like there's a small group of people that play it, but they play it so hardcore that the value of these things is actually like astronomical in real world dollars, and you can trade them. And I think one of the things might be a piece of real estate in Star Citizen that I think you're allowed to sell. But
I actually saw that Facebook or Meta was selling like real estate in their metaverse thing.
yeah,
yeah.
there was, I think we've talked about it on here before. There was actually a job post when I was applying to jobs the past couple weeks where a lot of like consulting companies are hiring like Meta VR consultants to do like weird financial analysis for companies that are like investing in like their space in the metaverse.
Yeah. I mean, that's the future? Is like we find fuck the world, let's find a digital space that we can live in instead.
I guess.
And then get like video game designers to craft those worlds for you. Elon Musk just pulling somebody away. Pulling Hideo Kojima saying, make a world for me to live in.
I don't. He's trying to go to a real world, not this one. But that's kind of admirable considering some of the alternatives. This is actually a theme that it comes up in a lot of like the sci-fi I've been reading. It's like the whether or not like everybody just goes into the simulation and stays there, or if they actually try to like explore the universe. There was some word for it. I'm forgetting.
I don't think that there's a cover-all answer, and I think that's what sci-fi gets wrong a lot of times. I think you allow both. You allow the explorers, but you also allow people to stay in digital space. Like, there is no cover-all. This is what all of humanity has to come to in order to survive. I think the answer is variety.
Yeah, like the Matrix.
Yeah.
At the end of the
Maybe.
movie, like you have some people that still live in Zion and some people that live in the Matrix. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. It's that. It's you make it a choice. I think ultimately it's just choice. You allow people to choose whether they want to stay there or they want to move and like explore in a world that is not predetermined. I guess. Because what would be the benefit of exploring in the real world if a digital space has not been fully explored? Is there a difference?
I mean, if the planet is dying.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, that's a whole different argument of
Yeah. I mean, like, otherwise, yeah.
Which, yeah.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Perfect utopia. We've created a digital space that can sustain everybody and generates its own energy. The planet is healing, but we primarily live in this digital space, allowing people to break out of that digital space and explore. I don't see a downside to it.
There is a book that goes really heavily into like a lot of these issues, like basically exactly how we're describing them. Like it's a big focus. It's Diaspora by Greg Egan. Super good. Really like that one. And it's like, so humanity. There's like three. Humanity has kind of diverged into a bunch of different things that fall into three big categories. There's like the robots. They call them Glesners. There's like the computer sentiences that people uploaded into the computer, and then there's like the original humans, and they have like there's words for those last two. Gosh, I actually want to read it again.
Diaspora?
Diaspora, yeah. By Greg Egan. Very, very good. So that's where it starts.
Fleshers, Geisner robots, and citizens.
That's right. Fleshers, Gleisners, and so the citizens are citizens of like simulated worlds.
Apparently, diaspora means the dispersion of Jewish people beyond Israel. Is the book related to that?
Well, it's a diaspora. It's kind of come to mean that diaspora specifically, but I think.
Oh, okay. It means a scattered population whose origin lies in
Yeah.
a separate geological
Right.
locale. Okay.
That's like the modern usage of the word. So you do like
So, not specific to the Jewish people,
yeah,
but
it'd be like the Italian diaspora in New York or like the Cuban diaspora in
Right.
Miami. That's
And
like
even-
how it's used now.
or
No, wait.
the Native American
It's diaspora, right?
Diaspora?
Diaspora.
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 I'm actually not sure.
Yeah,
Okay. Cool.
I think you're
diaspora.
I think you're correct, Justin.
Sick.
How was I saying? Diaspora.
Diaspora.
Diaspora. And even historically, like I think there was also like a Greek diaspora, like even in those kind of same historical times. So I don't know why. Like I have seen some definitions like that, but I don't. And I've seen people claim that to be the original definition, but I'm actually not sure if it was.
But anyway, is it about the like moving of a group of people from their original location in?
So it takes a while to get there because the book actually goes through like a lot of. There's just a lot to that story. A lot goes on, and for a good chunk of the book, it's not actually clear why it's titled why that's the title. But at some point, like the I don't know. I don't give spoilers, but there's like, depending on the different kind of factions of humanity have like different outcomes, basically. That's all I'll say. I don't know.
Okay.
And I don't know if they're really factions. Different like modes. The different modes have different outcomes. Yeah.
We'll check it out, Nate. Good suggestion.
Yeah. I think I need to wrap up soon.
Sure.
That was like, we're at like an hour, right?
50 minutes, but yeah.
So, any closing thoughts? Nate, what have you been up to this week?
I've been working. I got a chance to watch the July 4th from the top of this building where I am now, which is kind of cool. It's like this 26-story building in Tyson's. And that was fun just because like you look around and there's like fireworks there, fireworks there. And my favorite thing is just to kind of like go up to like a high place and like just try to figure out what every different clump of buildings is. So it's like, oh look, that's probably Rockville, it's probably like Reston, that's probably Fairfax, like just kind of looking around. And so you could do the same thing with fireworks. I think somebody was counting, saw like, I don't know, like 15 different ones. Most of them were like very far away, but
Damn, you must have been way up there.
well, yeah, 26 stories.
I wouldn't
like
think
that.
26 stories would give you that. Like a vantage of Rockville from Virginia.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can see it. I mean, it's not close. It's like you kind of have to. So you can, for example, you can see Sugarloaf Mountain. You can see the Blue Ridge Mountains. You can't really see DC because there's other buildings in Tyson. But you can see Vienna. Vienna's right there, actually. That one's easy. You definitely see Reston. And there's some buildings I'm pretty sure are Rockville.
Mm.
What have you been up to, Justin?
I beat fucking Elden Ring.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, I threw like an extra 30 hours at the game this week. Most of it like on deck actually.
Nice.
I mean, I had COVID and I was still recovering. So
That's true. Yeah.
yeah, so I had to isolate. So like the only thing I'm gonna do is play video games in my room. But yeah, super good game. Really glad I finally actually beat it, so I can stop avoiding spoilers.
What ending did you get? Don't spoil anything else. I still have to beat Melania and then finish one other thing.
Yeah, did you do 100%
What
clear, or did you just finish the main storyline?
I got to credits. Like I still have a bunch of other shit I want to do. Although apparently some of the achievements are missable. So I'm gonna have to replay on New Games Plus or something. I don't know.
There's a lot of missable shit apparently. So what ending did you get?
What also answer what build you did?
So I did dual wield curved greatswords. Hits stupid hard, staggers bosses. Like much better build than what I started with.
Which sword should you use?
I used Bloodhound Fang and either Dismounter or Zamara Curve Sword. I really like doing the dual wield because it doubles up on effect damage. So like if I'm running like Zamora Curve Sword and I have like a Frost Enchant on the other sword, then shit's just gonna get fucking frostbitten like consistently, and I just do crazy damage because of that. But yeah, for the ending, I got, I guess, the regular one. I need to go back and do the good one.
The good one. Okay. Are we avoiding spoilers for Elden Ring still?
I know very well about the game.
Allan?
I've heard it's super good.
I don't
It is very
particularly
good.
care about Elden Ring spoilers, so you can do whatever. I still haven't beaten it. I think I'm only 40 hours into it.
So did you burn the Erd tree and then
I don't remember burning their tree.
Justin?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay. Okay. So, man, I want to know what is there's just a normal ending after that? What are you talking about? The good one? What's the good one that you're trying to get instead?
Which
Because there's multiple. There's like a ton
which
of different endings.
Did you
right?
wait? Did you look up all the endings once you beat it and you got
There was
one?
only 2.
No. There's like apparently there's like multiple.
Oh,
there's
only
one that
2
you can.
achievements for endings.
Okay. Just good or bad?
Yeah. Well, no. There's good and extra good, I guess.
there's
Wait, are you saying
multiple
good? Are you
I
saying
think
good?
I think
good
I can
like,
name the achievements, right? Okay, so
are
there's
you-
either
wait, hold on. Are you saying good as in like good versus evil? Or are you saying good as in like the better?
you did a
the
bunch
two?
of shit, and you unlocked a bunch of shit, and therefore it's like the good ending. I
Gotcha.
guess.
Gotcha.
What the fuck is the name of the ending? Where is it? So I got the Elden Lord ending. I still need to get the Age of Stars ending.
What's the Age of Stars ending?
Am I
marry-
spoiling it? Or
Did you marry Ronnie?
I put a ring on her,
Okay.
but I don't know if that actually does what I think it should do.
Yeah, there's like a ton of them. Age of Despair, like you can help Dung Eater and like ally with him towards the ending.
Yeah, I thought that was just part of a quest line. I didn't know that was integrated into the ending.
Yeah, there's a bunch that are. Hold on, I don't know what the total number is. Is it like 9?
Oh.
5.
So there's. Okay, so there's lots of Elden Lord endings, and then there's an Age of Star endings, which is separate.
Oh, okay.
So I got the Age of Fracture, which is the default ending.
Okay. Cool.
Did you?
We're proud of you, Justin.
Yeah.
Good job, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Ah, shit, man. I gotta go through and play the game a bunch, I guess. Fuck.
Right.
Yay.
Somebody was telling me there's like a walkthrough that you can use that basically gets you all of the endings in one playthrough.
What? How?
Yeah. Something to do with like just a series of events that you can trigger that get you all of them. You can probably do that in your New Game Plus, but it's just going to be really fucking difficult.
Gotcha.
I look it up. And I want to be able to.
I might just replay it. I don't know.
I'll wait for the 4-hour 100% speed run. Just watch that on like
Yeah.
Games done quick.
That'd be cool.
I have been still getting dumpstered in PUBG after 500 hours. Still can barely play the game like a human. And I've been playing. I think I'm like 10 or 15 hours into Tiny Tina's Wonderland, which I'm having a lot of fun with. I fucking love the Borderlands games. Like, they're almost like perfectly up my alley. Like FPS, RPG, tons of fun, great characters, tons of loot, fun stories, decent replayability. If they tried to add in like kind of like a Diablo dungeon, like hardcore torment level type of thing in Borderlands 3, which I thought was okay. I don't know what kind of endgame Tiny Tina's looks like, but since it's like D&D based, I'm hoping that they have some sort of like dungeon run type thing with better torment levels. If they fix that and they perfect that somehow in Borderlands with like slightly better co-op, I think it would be like awesome, fantastic, super
You think
great.
that fit better in Tiny Tina's? Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of good things about that game. Yeah.
It's not as D&D as you would think, but like they replace. So usually your character has like one like super ability, which is up every like 10 or 90 seconds depending on the class, and then this one they replace your grenade with spells. So instead of like you used to be able to equip grenades and get like special grenades, and now you equip spells and you get special spells that range everywhere from like explosions to shields to auras to all different kinds of stuff. And you
Very
can
Destiny style abilities.
Yeah. And you can actually multi-class in it too.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's like Borderlands with a sprinkle of D&D. It's not quite like D&D meets Borderlands. So don't go into it thinking it's going to be like a great D&D kind of game, which it kind of is, because the story is based off of Tiny Tina's, like, she's the dungeon master.
Yeah, I hear it's like Borderlands, but with like a lot of fantasy
Right.
trappings instead
Right.
of the sci-fi.
Is it the same
trappings.
developer?
Yeah, I think so.
Gearbox.
But yeah, it's
I've been
it's tons of fun.
Yeah, it seems really cool. I've seen a lot of people playing it just like in co-op and stuff. The drop in, drop out seems pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how the guns are, but I hope they're more than just like crossbows meant
It's
to look like guns.
your first gun is a crossbow, and your melee weapon is really important. So like you melee a lot, and those are like clubs and axes and swords and stuff. Your first gun is like a crossbow pistol, but then it's like mostly Borderlands guns, and then some of them do like special stuff. Like there's a shotgun I have where like to reload it, like you fill it up with like magic pixie dust, and then there's like other guns you have where like when you reload it, you throw it, and in like the Borderlands games, you used to like throw it and it would like explode. And this one, you throw it and like a Hydra would come out of the ground for like 10 seconds and spit venom at bad guys.
Cool.
So yeah, it's like you said, it leans more fantasy versus sci-fi.
It's dope.
What about you, Christopher?
I started playing Fortnite because a lot of other people, like Anthony and Brandon and Michael, friends of ours, all are playing Fortnite pretty.
What the fuck? Why aren't you guys telling me about this shit?
Justin loves Fortnite.
They all play on a different like Discord server, but
Okay.
I talked to you multiple times about Fortnite. We talked about it like 2
What?
weeks ago.
No. Why aren't you
I
sending me
played-
invites?
Yeah, send me your epic stuff.
Sure.
But we like they're just jumping in, doing quests and shit on Fortnite. That's been fun. I picked up Avengers again because they just released Jane Foster as one of the like new characters, and that game is like Borderlands but a brawler instead of like being a first person shooter. It's like a third person like fighter. It's a lot of fun. It's like a dope deck game. I just pull it up on my Steam Deck and just fucking grind like loot and shit.
Speaking of Steam Deck, I got my confirmation yesterday, and I paid for it, and I'm hoping it ships tomorrow, and I'll get it a couple days after.
Fuck yeah, it comes quick.
I think so. I checked again on the store, and if I wanted to get another one, it'd be like a fucking year later.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you got yours, dude. It's really interesting. You can do a lot of really cool shit with it. Like, there's tons of emulators and stuff you can play on it. Like Justin was saying, like you can hook it up to do all kinds of crazy remote streaming stuff. So if you have like a good connection internally, a good Wi-Fi mesh, and a decent PC, all the in-home streaming or like remote play and stuff is really fucking good. It's dope.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's really fucking good. Like, as time goes on, I play it more and more and more and more. Like, it's really, really cool just being able to play games in bed, even if it's a tiny screen, and my hand falls asleep because my hands are too small.
I'm excited for sure.
Yeah, it should be super comfortable for you because you have giant fucking mitts.
Yeah, I hope so. Anything else going on, guys? Any shout outs you want to do?
I've been streaming Chrono Cross again. I'm finishing it. Chrono Cross is really fucking good. It's a lot better than I thought it was originally as a kid, and there's a lot of stuff I didn't understand, but it's still fun. And I think I'm getting closer and closer to the end.
Is that like a Square game?
It is. It's a spiritual or actual successor to Chrono Trigger.
Okay.
It's like a JRPG around the same time as Final Fantasy.
Well, everyone follow Christopher ALC Fanis, or twitch.tv/ALC Fanis, Twitter @ALC Fanis.
But yeah, that's been fun. And I want to play. Have any of you played Wild Arms?
I think I rented it once.
It's like a PS1 RPG.
Yeah.
Apparently that's a pretty good one. So that'll be my next PS1 Sunday. But yeah,
Oh,
that's it.
I remember this game. I vaguely remember this. I think I did also rent it, and it was pretty hard. I was not good at RPGs when I was a kid.
No,
I
I was
didn't-
not good at understanding them.
Yeah,
I was good
I
at
just didn't
killing
get it.
bosses. It's cool though. It has a lot of like, it's about like multiverses and like different timelines like bleeding into each other kind of stuff that I think Chrono Trigger was about as well.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Cool.
All right, guys. I guess.
So Steam sales ending. I think in like 2 days. A lot of good shit on there. Go buy shit. I bought a ton of shit this Steam sale just
You
because
did
like
buy a ton of shit.
yeah.
What are you most excited about?
Probably 7 Remake.
Oh, you got that on Steam?
Yeah,
DuckTales Remastered is fucking dope and hard as shit.
it's fucking great.
Game is very good. Did you not play Phantom Pain before? I'm looking at your list right
I
now.
never played Phantom Pain. I've never played any of my Metal Gear Solid games.
Don't start with Phantom Pain.
I'm starting with Revengeance. Okay.
That's actually why I was trying to get the PS5 was for the next Final Fantasy VII remake. But I guess it is going to come out for PC eventually. Right? That's what they.
I mean, it's
Final
out.
Fantasy
for
VII
PC.
Remake, it's out right now. It's on
No,
sale in the
like-
Steam sale.
The next one.
Oh, the next one. Yeah, I think
Oh.
so. I think Sony's trying to mainline everything on PC and PS5.
I think it'll be
Simultaneously?
like 2 years now. I think it'll still
Oh,
be
is it
like
really?
a 2 years exclusivity thing.
Oh fuck.
That a lot of times that's what it turns out to be. It's like 2 to 4 years depending on the license.
Final Fantasy VII remake was, I think, a year. God of War was like fucking 4 years, but I think
Final Fantasy VII Remake just came out recently.
didn't it just come
That
out
game's so
last
good.
year?
I love that game.
I think it came out in
it came
April
out-
or something.
It came out in like 2019.
Oh shit, 2020.
Oh,
You're right.
It is
You're
like
right.
2 years, isn't it?
2 years.
Yeah.
Fuck. I mean, 15 came out like a year later on Windows. I don't know. Maybe
That's true.
I think the industry is going more in the direction of like, hey, also co-launch on PC or like smaller time delays.
Yeah, but I
just
think
because
like
it's easier
2
to
years
file.
is probably 2 years you'll see on stuff like first party exclusive stuff like God of War,
Right, yeah.
Spider-Man. I think you might have to wait a year for Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy.
I think 7 is a weird exclusive, like a weird Sony deal.
I don't know.
Alan, what were you saying?
I was saying the next part is late 23 or early 24 for
Yeah.
PS5, and it looks like it came out for PS4 in April of 2020, June 21 for PS5, and then PC December 21. So about a year and a half. So that time is shrinking.
Oh, it came out in December of
Yep.
2021 on
Yep.
PC. Interesting.
I don't know
Yeah,
why
it is.
I'm seeing everyone play it now on PC. So maybe there was like a Steam delay or something, but apparently
Maybe.
it was out for Windows in December 20.
Oh, Epic. It was an Epic exclusive, December
Oh, was it?
2021.
There you
Yeah,
go.
and then
That's
it came
why.
out on Steam after that exclusive was up, which seemed to have only been like a few months, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah, I only saw it because Steam sale.
yeah.
They probably should advertise that. I had no idea it was Epic.
Yeah, so it came to Steam in June.
In June, so 6-month exclusive.
6-month exclusive to Epic Store. So you might be able to play Rebirth after a year and a half instead of 2 years.
Do you think any of them are going to be like MMOs?
I think Rebirth's going to be open world.
They
I don't know if
already
it's going to be multiplayer.
Or
Where's
Alan?
I was gonna say that their MMO is Final Fantasy 14. I don't think any of these others are gonna be MMOs.
I don't know. Well, yeah, you're right. 14 just came out with Endwalker, which might be like the end of the MMO, and maybe like 18 will be the next one. But I don't think we're going to see another Final Fantasy MMO for a long time. I think you're going to have to stick with 14. My bet is 18. Write it now. Draft a tweet.
Sure.
Final Fantasy 18 is going to be MMO.
I can say that.
But I do think Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is going to be open world because that's very much what the like last 3 discs of Final Fantasy VII were.
Yeah.
Like, or all Final Fantasies are very like they become very open world at that point.
Yeah, like there's gonna be 3 of them, right?
I don't
3
know.
games in total. Oh fuck.
I don't know if Rebirth is like the end or if they're
No. I think there's gonna be at least one more after Rebirth, but because there were supposed to be 3. I just don't know if the Yuffie DLC counts as one or DLC.
I don't think it would.
My understanding is it doesn't.
Okay, so I think there should still be one more after it, because if they extend the story as much as they did in fucking Midgar, I mean, they can make fucking 6 more Final Fantasy VIIs to tell the story. Especially if I think
Sorry, you're right. There's a part 3.
yeah, what I think they're gonna also doing is they're gonna retcon a bunch of shit somehow, some way, like alternate universe or like fucking with like the time stream or like the planet's life force.
They already kind of have.
They already, yeah.
Because it's like the spirits. It's like the spirits know what's supposed to happen, implying that like it already happened, sort of, right?
Yeah, the spirits are watching the original canon, and they're trying to stop us from changing the canon.
And I think that's going to be more prominent later when players are going to have more choices. I feel like I think they're setting up for that.
I think
The further and further you diverge, the more and more the spirits come after you.
Or maybe even it'll be some like giant.
You try to
boss
save
fight.
Aerith and like
that's it.
I mean that's what it's gonna be, right?
They're gonna try and have her not die or come back to life somehow, like Lazarus Pit or something.
That'll
Or
probably
Tifa
be like
dies
the final.
instead.
That'll be like the final boss. Like you can beat the whole game, but then like that'll be like the big baddie. Like you want to go back and save Aerith.
I thought that the end of 7 remake was going to be a big departure from what the end of like the Midgar section of 7 was, and it really wasn't, apart from that fight. Like you still ended in a very similar way, except Zack is there maybe dying to Shinra military. But
apparently that actually was in 7 too, but not at that. You didn't see it at that section though.
Okay, yeah. So
flashbacks.
I thought it was going to be that, but now it's having me think that Rebirth is going to be the big divergence. Like at the end of Rebirth, it's going to like the third part of this is not going to be the game that we're expecting.
What they're doing is they're incorporating Crisis Core and Dirge of Cerberus into all this stuff as well.
Wait, are they really?
Yeah. So Justin, cover your ears because it's very slight spoilers to the.
It's fine. I've been spoiled on Dirge of Cerberus.
Yeah. So I just finished the Yuffie DLC, and at the end of the Yuffie DLC,
I haven't finished that.
I haven't either.
Go ahead.
All right. So at the. Never mind. No, I didn't say it.
Okay.
But at the end of the Yuffie DLC. Oh, and that's another thing. I finished that like a week or 2 ago. Like I had it forever. I just decided to finish it a week or 2 ago. But at the very end of that, finish it, and you'll see a couple characters where it's like, okay, why are these people here at this point of Final Fantasy? So I think they're trying to incorporate everything because there's a lot of story in Crisis Core about like Zack and stuff that's gonna.
I was reading Crisis Core lore online, and I feel like it's such a great prequel to Final Fantasy VII. The lore lines up with Final Fantasy VII flashbacks so well.
Yeah,
Crisis Core.
Yeah, because they had the story. He knew the story before making Final Fantasy VII. He didn't make the story he wanted. Like he understood that story and made the story that came next, and that's the one that you play.
Yeah.
It's fucking nuts, man.
It's great. Yeah, it's just great.
But yeah, everyone finish that up in the next couple weeks, and we can talk about it and spoil all of our audience.
Nice. Yeah, I actually did start. I figured out how to start the Yuffie DLC. I was worried that I had to start at the main quest of the other game, but I lost my save. But
no.
Oh, whatever, I beat it, it's fine. But you just like go to the other menu. You started that way.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like I need to play it after I finish Remake. Even though I've already finished Remake. But
I kind of want to beat it again, just to have a save with all the cool shit at the end, but I probably won't.
If you really want to play like the Yuffie DLC ASAP, you can play like the first half of it because it's like 2 chapters. You can play the first half of it like whenever, And then you can play the last half of it. I guess
I want to know where it falls into the story. Like, at what's the logical point to play it?
So the first chapter happens when like Cloud goes to the slums, and like he's like staying at the hotel, and they're doing like those hotel adventures where Cloud's staying at the hotel, because there is like a little side quest where Yuffie has to go to like the hotel, and the hotel keeper's like, oh, you want to see the soldier boy? He's a looker, but he's not here right now. And
Okay.
then the other half of the story takes place like during the whole, closer to like Shinra headquarters, during the whole like, hey, we're gonna like drop this plate on the slums.
Okay.
Wait, are you saying you have to like trigger that by making progress in that?
No. I'm saying
okay.
I'm saying the two chapters in the Yuffie DLC first
Okay.
takes place like when Cloud and Tifa arrive at the slums, and Cloud is staying at the hotel, and they're doing like some adventures there. Then the second chapter is closer to the like Shinra dropping the plate on the slums part of the story. That's sort of like
Okay.
Yuffie's doing like, I guess if you think of the continuity, Yuffie's doing stuff in like those parts of the story. She's like in the background.
Yeah, I played a little bit. I've only gotten I just got to like the Sector 7 slums. Like that's as far as I've gotten.
Which again, huge divergence from Yuffie's old story, which was just pretty much like a ninja in Wu-Tai stealing
It
materia.
makes sense for her character.
Yeah.
Yeah, she loves materia.
And that explains why she loves materia, right? She's trying to steal it for
Yeah.
which makes sense.
All right.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. Christopher, sing us off.
Okay, this is the end song. Goodbye.
All right.
Bye bye.
Goodbye.
This has been the ALCast. See you, everyone. Tune in next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.